On the mend, yesterday the Packers superstar talking about his recovery from ACL surgery. He's right now on the physically unable to perform list. He'll likely remain there to start the season. He says a return against the Cowboys in Week 6 is what's realistic. Right now, his focus is on being at the top of his game when he returns.
People are worried about the knee. They should be worried about how I'm going to play when I get back. The anger, the frustration, the things that I'm going to have to let out because, you know, how long it's been since I played. So I think that's what people should really worry about, like, how great is Micah going to be when he gets back, not about when I get back, because that's the short term.
That's what I'm talking about. He didn't say it in animated fashion, but the words, that's what you want to hear him say, right? The world should be worried about when I come back.
Yeah, that's how alphas are. Look, he's basically channeling his inner Kevin Durant. He's basically telling the league, you know who I am, and you know what it'll be like when I come back. So don't start tripping about when I'm going to come back. Just know this, when I do and I'm feeling right, as Gerald's going to talk about, you know what you have to worry about. And that's exactly what you expect from a guy like this. He's dominated every level of football in his entire life. I would expect it to be nothing different, or let's just say I would expect him to not act any other way than exactly how he acted right
Fair
there.
enough, but G-Mac, there isn't any certainty to what he'll be when he returns. Take us through the process of the elite athlete coming back from an injury like that.
Yeah, the rehab process is the easy part. And rehab is not easy, but pushing through the rehab because you know what's at the end of the tunnel is the easy part. What I want to talk about is that play. And when I say that play, that's what you need to be afraid of. When Micah's talking about be afraid, it's that play. And that play is when he makes that plant on that knee, because when you tear your ACL, or like I did a quad tendon, it controls your change of direction. So you're nervous about planting on that knee or getting pushed on that knee, and Micah's going against 350-pound linemen. But when you have that play where you plant on that knee or you got to change direction and chase Caleb Williams and you feel nothing, that's what he's talking about. And that's when the league should be scared, because when he don't feel nothing in that knee and he feel like he's Micah again, league is in trouble.
So do you think when he comes back, he's Micah again? I mean, whenever it is he sets on the field, he will be the Micah Parsons right away that we expect?
Well, it might take him a game or two, but because he's elite athletically and he's far beyond most athletes, he'll be all right.
But a game or two, not like the rest of this season. Okay, fair enough. So then what does all this, Jeff, what does all this mean for a team that is thinking championship thoughts?
Right, well, the good news is that they're also taking a somewhat conservative approach. So when he does come back, it should be at a point when he's ready to have the immediate impact. The problem with it is he has to have the immediate impact because we are looking at Week 6. He obviously has his eyes on that Cowboys game. That is October 18th. Exactly 9 months from when that surgery took place was September 29th.
Right.
He has been very clear that he doesn't want any football. The Packers don't want him playing in any football games until after that date. That will give him 2 weeks of a ramp-up period. So you have to keep your eyes on that rematch game against the Cowboys, revenge game on his mind, coming back from the ACL. That is the game that should be circled on everybody's calendar.
Look, they looked like a championship team when he went down, and they didn't win another game without him. What does this mean for the Packers this year?
Look, but Micah, in many, many ways, really determines the fortunes of this football team because, look, you can quantify how much their pass rush suffered when he was out. I mean, statistically, objectively, you can look at it and go, look, they need him on the field. They just do. They have no other profile anywhere close to that. They just don't. And look, a lot of times when you're acquiring somebody like that, you're going to have to give up something to get something special like this. You can't hoard all the guys that look like him. So that's why when you have him on your football team, I mean, look, Gerald knows this. When you have guys like this, you're telling offensive linemen, stay away from him, stay away from his knees.
Yes.
You got to put him in bubble wrap until you get to the game on Sunday. Unfortunately, he got hurt playing the game. So look, we know how important he is to this team. Hopefully they can come out of the first quarter of their season at least 500 and roll from there.
They're a team, I feel like, for the Green Bay Packers, are getting a little less attention than normal. I'm talking, does Detroit bounce back? Can the Bears take the next step? The Minnesota quarterback situation? What do you expect from the Packers this year?
Well, if you look in that division, nobody's running away with the division. Anybody can really win this division, including the Vikings, because the Vikings had a great defense, and depending on how Kyler Murray plays, they could even have a chance to win this. So people counting out the Packers, that's a mistake because this division is up for grabs.
Final word.
The parity in this division is also what makes it very tricky. They have to get out to a hot start. They cannot afford to go slow without Parsons.
Might be the most interesting part of the country to watch. That's the NFC North. We'll go to the AFC North as we continue with the Browns blueprint.
All right, over to the NFL, where Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs has sat out his 5th straight training camp practice as he awaits a new contract. Gibbs told the media only time will tell when asked how long he'll remain out. Bijan Robinson's new deal has everyone thinking what that means for Gibbs, including head coach Dan Campbell.
Certainly not going to hurt. I mean, it's not going to hurt. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm anxious to get Gibbs back out there. Every day that goes by, that's another day that you feel like you miss with him and getting him out there with the guys and him being doing his part. So, but there again, man, it'll get done when it gets done.
For much more, we've got Jeff Darlington, and Falcons running back Bijan Robinson just signed a massive 3-year, $75 million deal, record-breaking $51 million in guarantees. Jeff, what does Robinson's record-breaking deal now mean for Jahmyr Gibbs?
Well, to me, it means that these next 48 hours or so are incredibly important with Jahmyr Gibbs, because this is the shoe that needed to drop. As long as one guy got their deal done, you now have the benchmark for the other. Now, some did project that Jahmyr Gibbs might be in line to actually get paid slightly more than Robinson, but it should be very close and in the same ballpark. If the team and the player can't get together now that they have this answer, that's when we should start to worry that this is going to be a prolonged negotiation. But as far as I'm hearing, there was already comfortable and healthy talks that were ongoing. So to me, I would be more surprised if this did continue to linger on.
All right, staying in the NFC North, Micah Parsons eyeing a Week 6 return this season after an ACL tear last year. What do you know? They play the Dallas Cowboys Week 6 of this season. Tuesday, he said, quote, "I think it's very realistic." So we know how Parsons feels. Jeff, what is his team saying about his potential return?
Well, the Green Bay Packers are notoriously stingy about letting their players return from injuries like an ACL. Micah Parsons also has been really conservative about his approach too, saying that I'm going to be ready when I'm ready. And right now, he's just running in straight lines, no change of direction. He will undoubtedly start the season on the physically unable to perform list, which will mean that he'll miss 4 games. He will be able to practice before that, but really the Packers don't allow their guys to generally practice until 9 months out. That would put him just 2 weeks removed from that Cowboys game. So I think that is a tight timeline, but certainly one we shouldn't count him out. Parsons says he feels stronger than ever. As soon as he gets that knee right, he thinks he is going to be a one-man wrecking crew and ready to take this league back on.
All right, let's go from the NFC North to the AFC North, where Cleveland has a quarterback battle going on. Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel, all in the mix. Who has the edge right now, though, Jeff?
Well, it feels very early, right? But they're splitting reps based on each day. One day, one guy gets the ones, the next day the other guy does. Right now, Shedeur Sanders does look like the better quarterback at training camp. Pretty large consensus on that, pretty unanimous that Shedeur is really impressing the coaches. Todd Monken really likes what he has seen throughout the offseason and the first few days of camp. But this is a long battle. Monken wants to see both guys in the preseason before any determination is made. But for right this moment, it does feel like Shedeur Sanders has the edge.
Yeah, Monken will get his first look at those quarterbacks when the Browns open the preseason in 10 days against the Chicago Bears. Jeff Darlington up this morning with us on SportsCenter. Thank you.